like crumpled paper. Have you ever tried to flatten a piece of paper after crumpling it? It remains wrinkled no matter how hard you try to smooth it out. This simple analogy was explained to me some time ago to show how a person who has gone through bullying and has overcome it feels. And this is how I have felt for the last 9 years. My story is not much different from that of many other children who are bullied at some point in their life. It is not even the worst, but it hurt. I was only 5 years old when some classmates from school started cornering me and slapping me upside my head, just for fun. They laughed at me and called me names, day after day. I know that some of you will think that it was not so bad, that it was just kids being kids. I have heard that excuse so many times. I guess it never happened to you. The fact is that I was the chosen one, and it is not that I was shy or I had no friends. I was just the innocent one, the one who wouldn't tell the teacher or hurt a fly. And suddenly, one day you realize that you have lost your smile, that it is difficult for you to trust even those who have never failed you, and you think that you're worthless. That day, the world tumbles down and you're never the same again, like crumpled paper. You see your parents cry and worry, and that affects you even more. They talk to your teacher, and she says that the problem is that you didn't tell her. Meanwhile, the bullies are still there, looking at you defiantly, and proud of not being discovered, because the problem is you for not telling about it, not them. Time passes and you decide that you can't take it anymore. And finally, you have the courage to tell your teacher. But when you tell her, you're crying, because you're just a kid. And you also interrupt the class, because you cannot postpone your sadness until the bell rings. And she gets mad, and they laugh again. But I was lucky. It took me another year, but I beat the bullies. I realized that I was not alone, and that there were people willing to fight bullying with me. Because together we're stronger, and deep down, they're cowards who hide when you stand up to them. However, I will never be able to remove the wrinkles from my crumpled piece of paper. I will have to live with it. I have wondered so many times what I would be like if none of this had happened. Surely I would not be so self-conscious. I would have more self-esteem, and I would not panic when making new friends. Perhaps I would not be so empathetic either, or rebel against injustices. I will never know. For better or for worse, this is me now. Honestly, there is nothing I would have liked more than to end this story with a happy ending, with victorious heroes and defeated villains. But we bullied never fully overcome the effects of bullying. They end up shaping our personality. They are like scars on our soul. Those of us who have been bullied will always fear that it will happen again. Fear lasts forever, even if we learn to hide it. I can only say that it is everyone's responsibility to stop bullying and report any behavior at any age that could harm another person. Do not let any other child end up like crumpled paper. Do not look the other side and act.